Well, there it is, guys. Welcome back to the garage, and thanks for watching. Today, like you saw in the video, we're going to be working on this an '05 Escape 3.0 liter V6. A few things we're doing today: changing the oil first, and changing spark plugs, and changing out this coolant bottle. So first, I've already broke the drain bolt loose there, and we got the oil draining. It was a 15 millimeter. And while that drains completely, we are going to work on this first, because right now they are at the store trying to find the intake manifold gaskets. Since this has to come off, we need the plenum gasket there for the middle. But we'll get to that later. Let's do this bottle first. And it looks like it's going to be just 2 hoses. You can see this crack here. So they're probably losing a lot of stuff. So we got 1 hose on top, 1 hose on bottom, and this overflow hose, 1 bolt, 2 bolts. You know what I like to do is check out the new part. The new part will tell me a lot. Like, no bolt on the bottom, but there is that electrical plug I didn't see. Looks like it's hiding behind that power steering reservoir. I'll get my catch can, we'll set that down there. Looks like it'll run straight down the side of the fender well, inside of the fender well, onto the plastic. I'll just set it up right here where it's all soaking wet. It looks like it's probably all been draining. Okay, so the clamp is in here upside down. Oh, I got it. I was gonna say maybe I'll wait till I pull it out a little bit and then try to undo that, but I got it. Now, here comes the mess. Hey, it's working. All right. I caught it all. And that never happens. But you're gonna want a deep socket 10 mil and maybe a small extension just to get you out and away. And this harness is kind of hanging over it, so we're just gonna pry the harness thing up there. There it goes. That should slide up. Electrical connector somewhere. Somewhere? Uh-oh. There's not one in this one, so I guess we just won't use it. That's kind of cool. So depending on the model, it looks the same. So on the outside, these things look the same. So far, so good. Looks like the only difference is that electrical connector there. But I would say don't worry about it. I don't know if maybe they ordered this for the wrong model, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. As long as that doesn't leak, which it shouldn't, we'll be all right. Let's get it back in. So it's going to be pretty simple. There's an alignment hole right down there that falls into, so just pay attention. turn it the correct way. There we go. There it is. It's that simple. Pop the hoses on. That, like that. Tighten the two nuts. Like that. And like that. Put the clamps on and we're done. We're gonna top this back off. We'll let it run. See if it needs any more from all the leaking it's been doing. But that's it for the coolant bottle. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is drop this oil filter real quick. I'm going to use this guy. Let's see, this also fits. I think it's an S5 is the filter. Your oil filter is right up here by the exhaust, right above the oxygen sensor. There it is, you see the bottom of it there. So it's going to sneak it up in there, crack it open enough to drain, and then we'll put in the new one. Fill up the new one and put it in. Alright, we got the old filter out. It's really easy. Thankfully the last guy didn't crank it down with his brute strength. Oh, and look at that. So releasing that filter actually let more oil come out of the drain plug. It's a good thing I had that still in there. Had some cavitation going on. You know, like when you put your soda straw and you put your finger over the soda straw and you pull it out and the soda stay in there. That's kind of what happens until you take off the filter, which is like letting your finger off the straw, and then the rest of it comes running out. I don't want to fill this up 100% because it's at a slight angle. I don't want to spill oil all over myself while I'm trying to put it in. And I don't know, why not? Some people say yes on oiling the seal down, some people say no. Which reminds me, always make sure you got the old seal out of there. Sometimes this rubber seal, because it just pops out. Sometimes that'll stick on the block. And you'll go and put it back together and you'll have double seals, but it won't be double the good. It'll be half as bad, twice as bad. It'll be bad. Real time. Watch me now. Okay. Seal's not there, so that's good. We're good on that. And I overfilled it. See? Dang it. Just a little bit. With dry hands, you just want to snug that up. And I did get oil all over the exhaust, so you're going to want to wipe that off. That oil pan is still dripping. It's crazy. Like pretty fast. It'll probably take a while to get it all out. But I got time, still waiting on parts. Ooh. Ooh. Oh man, watch out for that. Fumes. Unless you like that kind of thing. Fucking party on. Well, what we can do is the front 3 spark plugs while we're waiting for that to drip dry a little more and waiting for the gaskets to come in. It's going to be real simple, it looks like. 10mm bolt, pop them out, spark plugs, lube up the new plugs, put them back in, bam. Let's see if we can make it happen. Alright, sorry about that. I had to get my kids doing some yard work. You can hear them weed eating probably right there. But these are actually 8 mils, not 10s. And they don't stay in the coil, so make sure you grab them. Okay, that looks good. Ooh, nice and floppy. Nice 5/8. So you want to make sure you, yeah, get the junk out. Not bad. And you're not going to hear a click with these because you're just pushing a spring up against the top. There's no click from like a metal, like those metal style you hear click. You just want to push it down far enough and you know the spring made contact, and then the spring will do the rest. Hopefully keep tension on it. Now if you see that spring corroded or pushed far up into boot further than the other ones, and you probably want to get a boot kit. You don't have to get whole new coils, just those boots. Okay, so I think I got a game plan. I'm going to try to remove as little as possible. The EGR has to come off because it's a hard pipe to the exhaust. That's not going to allow any of this to move if that's still attached. So I'm going to undo those 2 bolts that hold it away from this part of the pipe. And then we'll take off this cover because it's blocking one of the bolts for the manifold. And it looks like 4 for this side and maybe 4 for that side through these holes here. And then I'm going to leave the throttle body attached if I can. Looks like there's flex in this stuff. And all these hoses attached if I can. And I'll just lift it up enough to get it in there and let it rest on my arms and undo all the bolts, and hopefully it'll work out that way. Let's find out. So that's off, and make sure you hold on to this gasket because that'll want to fall. And those were 10s, and these are 8s, 8mm. Oh, let's see, these bolts come out. Nope. See, these bolts don't come out. That's good. Let's see if I can lift this up. Now, we're still tied too tight here to this wiring harness, heat shield. So we're gonna take that nut off and get that off of there. Okay. So you just push down on this green spring and that comes off. That's kind of a hard line, so yeah. I think we're gonna have to just get it out of here. I don't think my plan is working. It's not lifting up high enough for me to get in there anywhere, so guess we'll start taking it all apart. So it looks like this coolant line here attached to the bottom. It's going to be right there. It's attached to the bottom of it. Looks like you got one on both sides. And that's what was holding this up. So that's why I'm just going to I think maybe we can unbolt it and lay it to the side without having to disconnect the coolant lines. I'll try that first. With the brackets unbolted, we lay the cables aside down here. And might as well take the manifold all the way out since we're this far. So I'll just undo that second nut there. Those two lines back there. Disconnect that wiring harness from the side and find anything else along the way. We'll disconnect that too. But I gotta let the phone cool down, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to put in the plug. And instead of worrying if this is gonna leak, I'm gonna put a little thread sealant on there and send it. And there it is. Intake manifold is off. Throttle body is floating on the two coolant lines still connected there. The only other thing is that vacuum hose right there, which was connected to just behind the throttle body flange. And it was easiest, don't try to get it like that. I mean, unless your clamp was turned the other way around, but my clamp was turned towards the inside, so flipped it over. I was able to get to it on this side. You know, all my vacuum hoses came off super easy. There were just those, the one big one with the green clip, and then the two smaller ones all went right here. And then let's see, yeah, this one came off of that right there. But now I can get to those three, and it's the same deal as the front. 3 8mm bolts, 5/8 plug socket, and put them back in. Alright, I got all the spark plugs out, and none of them look terrible. They all look normal used. And then ow, the boots look good too. inside. They all popped off really easy. And put some paper towels in the holes there so as to not get any in there, because I realized I had to dust out, air out those spark plug tubes before I pulled the plugs out, and I didn't want that falling in the cylinder, so do that. But I got the gaskets in, cleaned out the grooves of all the oil, wiped all the oily residue off of there, and we're ready to slap it back on now and start piecing it back together. Boom, just like that. Bolt holes fall right into place, and you can thread them in. I'm sure there's a torque sequence. Usually it's just from the inside out. I just gotta torque it down here, and they're probably somewhere around 8 foot-pounds. I don't know if you got that already, but which is I think about 96 inch-pounds. So remember, one of those throttle body studs was double-ended, and that's going to go on the bottom one closest to the firewall. Well, you didn't see, but I torqued those down to the same as what I torqued those down, and my phone is on fire, so it's going to keep shutting off. Don't forget to put this back in. It's just a vent tube for the transmission, and then your brackets will go back on here. Well, let's get that there. Oh, that now. Yeah. Now, gosh dang it. But yeah, bracket will go on there and there. Cover, electrical connectors, bolt these guys back on here. All right, let me do that. Woo! Remember, 2 double-ended studs here. One, after you tighten those down, then you'll slide that over like so, and put a nut on that, and then on this side there's that clip right there that'll slide over the stud to hold this wire in place. He's gonna drive my truck. Oh, he's gonna need that mirror. Sounds good, doesn't it? Hey! My God! What the hell's wrong with you? All right, throttle body tube is on here. Those are tight. All the electrical connectors, well, just the one. There's only one electrical connector. The other PCV, this PCV, the 2 vacuum hoses, 2 electrical clips, throttle body's on. It was pretty simple. So I got the coolant bottle topped off, oil's good. Let's see if it let's see what it sounds like. See if it'll start. Oh, my phone keeps shutting off on me. Yeah, all right. Well, guys, that's gonna do it for the Ford Escape. It's all buttoned up. Sorry about the phone issues, overheating, and I couldn't get everything. But you got to see it start right before the phone cut out again. I was also running out of storage. I don't know why these videos are taking up so much space, but I might have to bring down the resolution or something just to make more space or be more conservative in my filming. But he's happy, and hopefully it helps you guys out on how to tackle some of those same problems as well. Now, in the future, on some of my personal stuff, that's right, I got this new project here. I'm gonna call her Old Blue, and it came with a new Predator 212. We're gonna figure out a way to stick that in that and make it run down the road. It's gonna need some work. I'm gonna have to need a whole new back tire setup. Okay, I just changed the resolution down, and I changed my storage location of my SD card. So, but take a look at this. That's no bueno. So I'm gonna have to call up the guys at Go Power Sports or BMI Carts, either one of those guys, and see if they can help me out with that situation. And I have to get a torque converter as well. The seat, it didn't come with the seat, but at that same yard sale he had this, which is a back to like a Harley or something, you know, some other motorcycle. But we can cut up the tubing, make it work for our needs, put a seat on her. I don't know. It would be kind of cool to have a back on it, though. I thought about it a little bit. Let's see. I mean, wouldn't that be cool looking? Just had a back. Just put it back. Yeah. I don't know. I might do it. Might get a seat at the same time when I get that back rim. But that's only on deck. That's not up to bat. I don't watch baseball or even sports. Right now, this is what I'm working on. I was just trying to support it, and then decided, you know, I need bigger tires. So I ordered bigger tires. And then the bigger tires don't fit, of course. So we're going to do some modification. But I've got this seat post I'm going to cut out of this frame, and that seat. This is a super cool seat. Schwinn, name brand. But we'll have it sitting there, somewhere around there. But yeah, that's another video. So stay tuned for that, guys. And again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. See you next time. Peace.